Hi, Justin Parsons here, Director of Instruction at the Butch Harmon School of Golf here in Dubai Sports City. And in this month's Golf Digest Middle East piece, we're going to look at a few of the things that you can do in your setup position which will almost subliminally and technically start to get you towards the right type of impact position. Now, over the last few months, some of the articles that I've done in the magazines, we've looked at impact in a lot of detail. We've looked at the lag that you might have to generate. We've looked at separation between your lower body and your upper body and these things. But for you out there at home when you're practicing and playing, I want you to be able to set up into a way that you can start to feel your body's going to arrive at an impact position. So I've looked at 4 little key areas of the setup position that can really help you to start to put yourself into a position and almost prime yourself for impact. So from a face-on sort of standpoint, there's 2 things that you can really look for, and these 2 things, I've looked at Rory hitting golf balls here at the golf school over the last few years. I've looked at a lot of the great players that I've been fortunate enough to spend a bit of time with. And one of the things that struck me an awful lot is that they almost all stand with their feet in the same sort of position. So for those right-handed players, they stand with a little bit of foot flare with this front foot and the back foot pretty square. And you might say to yourself, well, why do they do that? Well, whenever they're making a backswing, they feel good resistance here with this right leg. And then as they go into their transition and into their impact, this flared left foot allows them to open up a little bit through impact. Ben Hogan once said that he was almost feeling like he was twisting his right foot towards the target, twisting his left foot towards the target at his setup position. So that gives you an idea of just the power of what they're feeling with their relationship with the floor. The second thing that you might look for is just how few players set up with their hands behind the golf ball. Now this is if you were to do this, you're gonna tend to get a little bit too draggy in your takeaway. You're gonna get no real load with your wrists in the backswing, and it's very difficult for you to create the type of downward strike that you want, certainly for your iron shots from that position. So I've got a 7-iron here. Looking at a 7-iron, we'd want about that left arm to form a nice straight line with the shaft. We'd want to get ourselves into a position where certainly the glove part or the Velcro part of your glove sits out in front of the golf ball. So as we start to flip it and go down the line, another couple of things that you can do and you can look for, if we stay with the grip for a moment or the way your hands would be placed, we always see with these really good strikers a nice line, the left arm sitting downwards, the shaft going outwards. We very rarely see a straight line. There was a player years ago called Wayne Levy who did that, and that's the only one that I can think of with that club shaft and left arm in a straight line. So you'll see most of them with a nice little angle, and what they're feeling here through the thumbs or the base of the thumbs, putting some pressure on the golf club to let it sit upwards. And then if we come back here to face on, what that's going to do, that's going to give them an angle to hit the ball with. So certainly very important that you feel that type of pressure in your grip. The 4th thing, balance at setup. Some of the great instructors I've been fortunate to spend some time with, Pete Cowan notably, Pete would always be talking about how important it is to make sure that you've got an equal amount of sort of pressure through the front of your body and the back of your body. And what we look for in the studio is a nice line from the back of the right armpit through the right knee and down to the floor, making sure that whenever you do come about to swing the golf club, you can use the back of your body and the front of your body in equal measure. So 4 things that you can look for at setup. They're going to translate into a more dynamic impact position, and I think if you can work on them on the range, your golf swing will improve, and I think your impact position will improve too.